So imagine in whatever it is you do, right? Whatever it is your career path happens to be. Imagine you get the biggest payday of your life, okay? And when you get that payday, it's a great feeling, right? Until the organization is like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Why is he getting paid that when you don't have the production of someone that should be making that? So before you celebrate, let's put that payday on pause and invest. Let's put that payday on pause, and let's go investigate why you're getting paid what you're getting paid. Because the way you produce, it don't look like you should be making that much. Now, granted, the company paid you the payday, right? So that's not on you. They paid you the payday, but the organization that the company is under says, wait a minute, put that payday on pause real quick. We gonna have to investigate why you getting that bread that you getting, because it ain't looking right. It just, the math ain't mathing. The contract ain't contracting, and the math ain't mathing. Whatever ain't doing whatever. Okay, so we gonna have to investigate that and see why you making that much. Imagine how you would feel if that was the case. You just got this big bag. You gotta carry it like this. I'm saying, you got the big bag, and then the organization that your company is under is like, nah, wait a minute, let me take that bag back here, because we're gonna have to investigate why you getting that bag first. We gotta investigate why, and then if everything checks out, then you'll be able to celebrate getting that bag. But we got to see why are you getting paid that when you ain't producing like somebody that should be making that. Imagine how you would feel. Well, put yourself in those shoes and imagine that's how Gary Trent is feeling this day. That's what's going on. Gary Trent Jr. of the Milwaukee Bucks is going through that exact same thing. That's what he's going through right now. The Milwaukee Bucks paid him 4 years, $64 million after being on a minimum contract. He got 4 years, $64 million. Okay? So you would think he'd be, on top of the world right now. He'd be feeling great, just got paid, so he know the family good, just got another payday. He already had a big contract before for $45 million, I believe, but this time it's for 64, so even more money, even a bigger bag, right? Cool. We good, right? He should be good, eating good, just feeling lovely in these upcoming days. But instead of doing that, the NBA said, wait a minute, hold up. We gonna have to put that bag on hold real quick because we don't know how or what inspired them to give you that contract. So we gonna have to look into some things and investigate some things, and then we gonna see what led them to giving you that contract. And if everything checks out, then you got the payday. But if not, then the whole team gonna be they're gonna have a price to pay. Put it like that. That's what's going on. Okay, and the reason that the NBA is investigating Gary Trent's new contract, and he just got the contract, literally. The reason the NBA is investigating the contract is because Gary Trent is coming off of one of his worst seasons that he's ever had in his career. He only averaged 8.1 points this season. But he got a 4-year, once again, $64 million contract coming off one of the worst seasons of his career. Okay, so the NBA thought, well, or why are you getting that when it looks like you don't deserve that? And when you were coming off a better season last year, you signed for the minimum, and then you just happened to get a 4-year, $64 million contract this season. Were they did they tell you that they had a guaranteed contract waiting for you this offseason? What was the conversation like? Did they tell you that all you got to do is wait and they had something waiting for you, or what? So they're trying to investigate that. They're trying to investigate what the case is. Why did he sign for the minimum last year when obviously if he had a better season last year and signed for the minimum, how do you have the worst season of your career and sign for that huge of a contract this year? So that's what they're trying to investigate and figure out. Now, just for a reference, let me tell you guys what Gary Trent had other than the points. So at 27 years old, Gary Trent had, once again, 8.1 points per game, 1 rebound, 1 assist, point 0.5 steals, not 1.5, 0.5 steals, so a half a steal, in 21 minutes per game, shot 38.7% from the field, shot 36% from the three-point line, 76.9% from the free throw line, and had a 53.3 true shooting percentage. Just to run through that again, just in case y'all thought I was joking, okay. 8 points per game, 1 rebound per game, 1 assist a game, a half a steal, 0.5 steals a game. Had no blocks, obviously. 21 minutes per game. Shot 38.7% from the field, 36% from the three-point line, 76% from the free throw line, and had a 53.3 true shooting percentage. So that's 8-1-1 if you guys are keeping score. That's 8-1-1. 8 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. So the NBA was like, reading those stats I just read to you guys, how did you get a 4-year, $64 million contract? How is that possible? What qualified in their minds to give you that when you had the worst season of your career? So they're wondering, like, why is he going to get this contract this year? So this is literally how it happened. And I swear to you guys, I'm not even trying to be funny right here, but this is exactly how it happened. Just to give you guys like a image of what Gary Trent Jr. went through or is going through right now. This is exactly how it happened, I promise you. Again, Gary Trent is coming off a year averaging 8 points per game, 1 rebound, 1 assist in 23 minutes per game, right? I'm sorry, 21 minutes per game. Okay? So 8-1-1 in 21 minutes per game, 8-1-1, right? So he chilling in the offseason. His agent called him. Hey, yo, bro. Yeah, I got Milwaukee on the line. They ready to give you this bag, man. Oh, okay. What's the deal? They gonna give me like a little what? You know, maybe what, 10 mil? Like what's the deal? 10 mil, maybe 14. What they gonna give me? Nah. They was thinking about giving you a like. They talking some good numbers. They talking 4 years, 64. What? 4 years, 64? Well, let's do that. Oh yeah. 4 years, 64. Yeah. They dead serious. Like 4 years, 64. They ready to sign a deal right now. Like hurry up, get to the facility. Let's get this paper signed. That's what Gary Trent Jr. went through, right? So that's the happy part, right? That's the happy part. He got 4 years, $64 million. He got that bag. He happy. He excited. Just for the NBA to call his agent and his people and be like, yeah, so we heard that y'all just signed for 4 years, 64 with the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, we did. Okay. Could y'all got to put that check on hold real quick because we got to do some investigation because that don't sound right. What you mean? They gave the contract to him. No, I get that, but no, he had the worst season of his career. Dude had, I believe, 8 points per game, 1 rebound per game, 1 assist per game, a half a steal per game. I don't even know how you get half a steal. It had half a steal a game and 21 minutes per game. So that doesn't look like 4 years, $64 million worthy. So we're going to have to investigate why they decided to give him that contract. That's exactly what Gary Trent Jr. is going through right now. Now, allow me to say this. Allow Chill to state his opinion on this matter. Right? The chillest head of the table says this. If they want to give Gary Trent Jr. $64 million in the worst season of his career, that's their prerogative, like Bobby Brown said. That's their prerogative. The NBA should have nothing to say. Y'all know I'm about everybody getting the bag. I don't care if you averaging 3 points per game. If the team give you $18 million and you averaging 3 points per game, congratulations to you. Like, I don't have no problem with the player getting the bag because the team, and that's in any sport. That's in any sport. Boxing, you name it. Boxing, football, basketball, whatever. Any sport. I'm all about everybody getting the bag. Like, I'm a boxing fan, for example, right? I see it all the time in boxing. People comment on like a fighter will sign for a fight, and it'd be like a big fight, right? And it'd be an underwhelming fighter or like a lesser fighter to the main eventer, but the main eventer decides to fight, like a fighter that's a little below his level, but he decides to fight him, right? So he gonna get him a bag, he gonna get him a payday. And you see people like, oh, how did the fighter, not the main eventer, but the dude that the main eventer is fighting, how did he qualify to get that payday? He ain't did nothing yet. He only got one belt. How he qualified to get that payday? If the boxer want to pay him a payday to go out there and fight him, like that's the boxer's prerogative. Only thing, the one who's getting the bag did nothing wrong. He signed the contract to get the bag. He did nothing wrong. Like, I never understood like the criticism going against it. Like I said, that's in any sport. Football, they do the same thing. A wide receiver signed for $81 million. And you see people, what did he do to get $81 million? It don't matter because the team thought he was worth $81 million. So it don't matter if he had a total of 500 yards receiving this year. He got $81 million. The team gave him $81 million. Only thing he did was sign the paper. That's it. If they want to be, I guess you would say, not as smart and give him $81 million, then that's their prerogative. Then blame the team, have criticism on the team, but don't bring it over to the player and let it affect the player. Let the player get his bag. Like, that's how I've always felt about contracts in the NBA, even with the Timothy Mozgov, like during that whole time, and the Luol Deng with the Lakers and stuff like that. Like when it was that time where role players were getting huge paydays, pause. I didn't have a problem with it from the aspect of the players getting the bag. Now, from the team standpoint, yeah, I get it. Now during the time, I had problems with the teams just giving out all this money to players that weren't, in my opinion, going to help them win. But for the players, get that bag. Like, I don't never have a problem with a player getting the bag or whoever getting the bag. If they want to pay you, then get the bag. Like, that should not affect the person getting paid. It shouldn't. Like, perfect example, right? The show, right? We on the show right now. So say, I don't know, say ESPN, right? Say ESPN say, hey, chill. We want to bring the Chill Report to ESPN. Okay, what's the deal talking about? Okay, we're gonna pay you. We're gonna pay the Chill Report $80 million, right? We're gonna pay the Chill Report $80 million. We're gonna bring the show to ESPN, and we're gonna pay the Chill Report $81 million. Right? So, but the thing is, you're only going to be on, like as far as ESPN, you're only going to be like broadcasted twice a week. Okay, so the Chill Report is going to be live twice a week, but the Chill Report is going to be getting $81 million. You know what I'm going to say? Okay, well, look. That's on them. They want to pay the Chill Report $81 million to be on twice a week. I ain't gonna argue with it. And anyone who does argue with that, that is, your personal opinion, and I have no problem with that. But if someone wants to pay you, even if you didn't feel like you deserved it or didn't feel like you earned it yet, man, you better get that bag. You better get that bag. And like I said, that's in every single sport to me. In the NFL, I've seen players say stuff like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna wait till I have a better season to negotiate my contract." What? They wanted to pay you. I'm just saying, 64, like Gary Trent. They wanted to pay you $64 million, and you coming off a bad season, man. You better sign that contract, man. Because here's the thing. When it comes to contracts like that, here's always one thing to keep in mind. And this is even when you're like a player like, like a top player in the NBA, like Anthony Edwards, a LaMelo Ball, when you're a SGA, a Wemby, when you're even a player like that. Here's the thing. You have to know that there's always a chance, knock on wood, that that contract won't be there if things go off the rails, right? So when you're banking on like getting these or like when guys like role players like Gary Trent Jr. and stuff like that are banking on these paydays, you pretty much want them to say, nah, I'm gonna pass on that and I'm just gonna wait till I have a better season to hope that another team pays me the money that I feel like I deserve. No, that's not happening. These people got family to feed. They got families to feed. They got people to take care of. They got people counting on them, depending on them. They got a whole lot of people, that's trying to, they trying to make sure that their lifestyle is maintained. So you can't expect these players to be like, oh, well, you know what? I didn't have my best season, so you know what? I ain't going to take the money that they throwing at me right now. Now, I'm going to wait till I have a better season and wait till I earn the contract. Now, I don't care if you earned it, you felt like you didn't earn it, whatever. You better get that bag, man. Get that bag every time. I have no problem with Gary Trent doing what he does and doing what he did and signing that contract. For the NBA investigating it, I can't lie and say I don't see the reasoning for it. Like, I get it. He had the worst season of his career. Why is he getting $64 million on a 4-year deal when you sign for the minimum after having a better season the year before? But to the NBA, I also would recommend this, not to criticize the NBA or anything like that, but NBA, think about it like this. And they are considering this, by the way. They are considering this in the investigation. And I'm glad they are. NBA, consider this. Maybe he was just trying to go to the Bucks to help Giannis compete for a title. Maybe that's why he went there and decided to take a minimum. And before that, he was in negotiations with my team as the Lakers. He was trying to sign with the Lakers, but once again, the Lakers did not have the money to pay him. I don't even believe the Lakers had as much money to give him as the Bucks did. So he would have been signing for less than if he would have went to the Bucks. So it would have been even a more underwhelming payday if he goes to the Lakers than the Bucks. So at that point in time, if I'm not mistaken, because this is what was being spread out, in the world, in the sports world at that time. At the time Gary Trent signed that contract, everyone had kind of reached that point in the offseason as far as like NBA teams. They had reached that point in the offseason to where nobody really has any more money left. Everybody kind of done spent their bag, their little free agency bag they had. So Gary Trent Jr. was like the last prize free agent. He was like the last one out there. So naturally, basically Gary Trent, the way the media made it sound, respectfully, they made it sound like he was pretty much scouting teams knowing he wasn't going to get like a big payday. He knew that. Like, he knew, okay, wherever I go, I'm signing for an underwhelming contract to what I'm actually worth. But I'm going to choose the team on whatever team gives me the best chance to compete for a title. That's what he pretty much was deciding on. So he had, like I said, the Lakers and the Bucks. It came down to those two teams. He picked the Bucks. The Bucks had, if I remember correctly, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, the Bucks had more money for him than the Lakers did. So if he would have signed with the Lakers, he would have been taking a lesser payday than he actually took. So he decided to sign with the Bucks, take his underwhelming payday, and hope that he can run his bag up next offseason. And that's what happened. That's all that happened. And I'm sure, like, okay, your agent has talked, and I'm pretty sure if y'all have watched any Hard Knocks, any sports, like, behind-the-scenes show, your agent will be telling you, and their agent does tell them and, like, give them heads up like an agent is supposed to do. Their agent tells them stuff like, hey, if you go here and you perform, hey, there might be a bigger chance for a payday. Every agent tells them that. Like, every agent, if you have a good one, every agent, like, tells you, like, the heads up. Like every agent tells you that. Like, okay, you guys know. Obviously, we're on the Cheer Report. I run the Cheer Report, right? I'm the host of the Cheer Report. But if media was like free agents, which it kind of is turning into, honestly. So shout out to the media space of that. But you guys know how media is like becoming more about contracts and making, getting the biggest payday in media, and people in media are starting to get paydays, right? So it's like this. Myself being the host of the Cheer Report, if I took the Cheer Report to a platform where I really knew, or perfect example, if myself, like Chill, if I went to another platform where I knew I wasn't going to get the biggest payday, but I knew they were going to get more exposure and can potentially help the Cheer Report get a bigger payday, and I go to that platform for, let's say, a year, right? And let's say like I said, I know it's going to be an underwhelming payday, but the exposure that's there, I can use to get Cheer Report a bigger payday, right? So I go to that platform and we have a mediocre season, right? So we have a mediocre season. The chemistry on the podcast is not the best, and the chemistry ain't really there. But we get through the season and we do what we got to do, right? So now that 1 year contract is over, if, like I said, going back to the ESPN thing, if ESPN say, hey, I got $80+ million for you, 80 plus, 81, whatever, hey, I got $80 million for you if we bring the Cheer Report here for 2 days a week, that's on ESPN. Respectfully, ESPN chose to pay the Cheer Report that. I didn't go to ESPN and say, we gonna need $81 million if you want to go. No, ESPN paid that. Or the Cheer Report, signed the contract. So the Cheer Report should get no blame or no other look because they signed the contract. No. ESPN, they gave the contract respectfully. The Cheer Report signed it. And that's what it is. The Cheer Report got a bag. Same here. Gary Trent Jr. got a bag. That's all that happened. In my opinion, ain't no investigation, ain't no mystery, ain't no how did that happen. Gary Trent Jr., I'll tell you how it happened. Gary Trent Jr. pulled out a pen, and he got the paper, and he signed it. And that's what happened. That's how he got that $64 million bag. Milwaukee, they decided to give someone coming off the worst season of their career, the biggest bag of their career. That's what happened. They decided to give someone coming off the worst season of their career the biggest bag of their career. And I believe they had his bird rights. So you guys know also, when you have the bird rights thing in the NBA, I always say, for the player, that's a blessing. Because here's what, if you don't know what that means. Well, for the player and the team, it's a blessing. Because that means they get to go over the cap and sign you to whatever you feel like you deserve. So that's great. So with them losing Giannis, with the team pretty much being full of role players now, or, supporting cast players, like they don't have a superstar, I'm not going to say that I would have, if I was in charge of the Bucks, I'm not going to say that I would have paid Gary Trent Jr. that, because I ain't going to lie, I'd be lying, because I wouldn't have paid Gary Trent Jr. that, respectfully, just going off the numbers. But if they felt like he was worth it, or that he can potentially live up to that contract, then that's their prerogative. That's what they want to do. They feel like he can live up to that contract. And maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's not a thing of, okay, what you did this season. Maybe they're like, okay, with Giannis gone, because Giannis ain't there no more. He's in Miami. With Giannis gone, the team is full of younger role players other than like Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is older. But the team is filled with mostly younger supporting cast players. So maybe they feel like with Giannis out of the way, Gary Trent Jr. can live up to that 4-year, $64 million contract now that Giannis is out of the way, and he can, not saying that Giannis was hampering his game or anything like that, but when Giannis is on the team, you ain't getting too many chances to do what you do, right? So now with Giannis gone, maybe they feel like Gary Trent will start to live up to that $64 million contract. Now that's a huge gamble to take, Pause. I'll be honest with y'all on that. That's a huge gamble, but maybe that's how they feel. So, but anyway, that's what's going on. The NBA is investigating Gary Trent Jr.'s contract. He signed, like I said, he did sign for 4 years, $64 million, but the NBA put that on hold, and they're investigating why that happened, and they're trying to see, basically, this is the whole point. They're trying to see if when he signed that veteran minimum contract with the Bucks, did they tell him something? Did the Bucks tell him something like, "Hey, sign this veteran minimum contract, right? Like, sign this veteran minimum, okay? And then next season, we gonna get you right." You know what I'm saying? Like, they trying to figure out, did something like that happen? Like, sign this, and then next season, we gonna make sure you good. If that happened, then there will be consequences. But me personally, I just think Gary Trent Jr. just got a bag, and the Bucks gave it to him. Pause. That's what I feel like happened. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below, man.